What if I told you the fastest way to become unstoppable is to vanish? Not forever. Just long enough to become dangerous. In a world where everyone overshares, where people parade their goals, struggles, and half-finished dreams for attention, there's an ancient, lethal power in going silent. In pulling back. In becoming invisible. Because while the world is watching, it's also judging, envying, sabotaging. And if you let them see too much too soon, they will pull you down before you ever get the chance to rise. Disappear now. Re-emerge unrecognizable. That's the move. But here's the catch, disappearing isn't about hiding. It's about refining. In secret. With discipline. With fire. Until you become the version of you that the old you couldn't even imagine. And when you finally reappear, you won't just shock them. You won't even care. Because the real transformation isn't external, it's the mental armor forged in the silence. Let's break this down into 3 brutal, practical, non-negotiable parts. How to disappear the right way. What to do while you're in the shadows. How, and if, you should reappear. Mess this up, and you'll look like a fool who ghosted only to return with nothing. Get it right, and you become a walking legend. Let's begin. Part 1, How to disappear the right way. 1. Shut your mouth. Silence is your first act of power. If you're serious about disappearing and transforming, the very first step, the one most people never master, is learning to shut your mouth. Completely. Talking is cheap. It's seductive. It gives you a hit of dopamine without requiring any action. But it's also a self-sabotage mechanism. Every time you speak your dreams into the world prematurely, you weaken them. You expose them to criticism, envy, doubt, and energetic theft. People will poke holes in your ideas not because they're flawed, but because they're afraid of you changing. You need to understand this, your words are sacred. They either build energy or bleed it. The more you talk, the less mystery you carry. And in a world addicted to exposure, mystery is magnetic. So stop leaking your essence. Close the valve. This applies to everything. Your fitness goals, your financial plans, your spiritual breakthroughs, your business blueprints. Your mouth should be under the same discipline as your workout plan or your finances. And it's not just about outsiders. This includes your closest circle, friends, co-workers, even family. Unless your life partner is fully aligned with your mission and pushing you forward like a teammate in battle, keep them in the dark too. You are becoming a fortress. And fortresses don't speak. They watch. They plan. They strike. 2. Only care what you think. Reclaim your mind from the matrix of opinions. Most people live inside a psychological prison made of mirrors, constantly reflecting back other people's opinions, approval, and expectations. It's a hellish trap. One that keeps you small, obedient, and fragile. Here's the truth no one wants to admit, most people don't care about your progress, they care about their own comfort. And your transformation threatens that. If you change, they're forced to confront their stagnation. And they don't want that. So they'll mock you. Doubt you. Subtly discourage you. Unless you destroy your addiction to their opinions, you'll fold every time someone raises an eyebrow. Your job is to make you the only judge that matters. Picture your ideal future self, the beast version of you that doesn't fold, doesn't beg, doesn't wait. The one who moves with lethal intent. That version is now your only audience. Every action you take, ask. Would the highest version of me be proud of this? You'll stop performing. You'll start living on your terms. And that's when the real power kicks in. Your silence becomes strategy. Your privacy becomes armor. Your self-respect becomes religion. 3. Hide your plans like they're sacred. Loose lips kill destinies. Your vision is your vault. Keep it sealed. You will get excited. You'll want to share. You'll want people to be proud of your ideas. But understand this. Sharing too soon makes you emotionally satisfied, and satisfaction kills momentum. The second you speak your plan, you invite two things: external resistance, critics, mockers, competitors. Internal complacency, your brain thinks you already accomplished something. Every time you verbalize your strategy, you lose a piece of the tension that fuels action. Here's how you handle it. Only reveal to people who are ahead of you, not peers, not bystanders. Ask precision-based questions, not validation-seeking ones. Keep conversations short, tactical, and one-sided. You're here for wisdom, not comfort. Think of your dream like a seed. Keep it in the soil. Let it take root in the dark. Expose it too early and it dies under scrutiny and storms. Silence doesn't just protect your vision. It feeds it. 4. Hide your progress. Don't show them the climb, make them respect the view. Progress is seductive. You'll hit milestones. You'll want to show it off. Don't. The moment you start flexing your transformation mid-journey, you pause the real work. Why? Because you trick your subconscious into thinking you've already arrived. Your drive cools. Your hunger fades. You become a victim of premature applause. There's a golden rule here. If you reveal your progress too early, you get praised. But if you reveal it after you're done, you get remembered. So stop posting. Stop explaining. Stop announcing. Keep grinding in silence while everyone thinks you disappeared, gave up, or faded. Then show up with a body they can't believe. A lifestyle they can't explain. A presence they can't shake. And even then, say nothing. Let them feel it. That's impact. 5. Hide your pain. Suffer privately. Emerge powerfully. Going dark isn't glamorous. It's not just aesthetics and monk mode quotes. It's brutal. You will cry in silence. You will fail behind closed doors. You will face temptation, doubt, exhaustion. You'll want to reach out. You'll crave support. But here's the raw truth. Pain builds your next version, but only if you carry it alone. Every time you choose not to whine, not to vent, not to post about your hardship, you sharpen yourself. You become the man or woman who can handle it. The kind of person people trust because you don't flinch under pressure. No crying to friends. No dumping your fears onto family. You bleed in silence. You recover in solitude. Your pain becomes your discipline. Your loneliness becomes your edge. And eventually, your silence becomes your signature. Because while others are crying for help, you're becoming help. Disappearing the right way isn't about vanishing from the earth, it's about detaching from distractions, protecting your energy, and rebuilding yourself in complete solitude. You shut your mouth to preserve power. You stop caring about others to reclaim your mind. You protect your plans to maintain control. You hide your progress to extend momentum. You suffer privately to strengthen your spirit. By doing this, you become untouchable. You walk through life with a silence that commands attention. And one day, you reappear, unrecognizable, undeniable, unbreakable. Part 2, What to Do in the Shadows. The Blueprint of Reinvention. Once you've successfully vanished from the noise, once you've cut the world off from your voice, your plans, your progress, and your pain, the real work begins. Disappearing is the doorway. What you do in the shadows is the key to power. This is the phase where you build the beast. And here's how you do it, step by step. 1. Pick clear targets. You can't hit what you can't see. Most people fail to transform because they're vague. They disappear, but don't aim. They ghost, but don't grow. That's not transformation. That's escapism. Disappearing isn't a retreat, it's a reboot. So the first step inside the shadows is clarity. Ask yourself, who do I want to become? What skills, body, business, mindset, or reputation am I trying to build? If I emerged 6 months from now, how would I want to look, act, and live? Be brutally specific. I want to get fit isn't a goal. I want to be 190 pounds with visible abs, strength in every lift, and boundless energy is. I want to make money is vague. I want to generate $10,000 per month through a high-margin online business in 6 months is laser sharp. Write down your goals in a private journal. Break them into 3 categories. Physical, body, health, energy. Mental, mindset, emotional mastery, discipline. Material, business, income, lifestyle. Burn this into your brain. Transformation without targets is self-deception. Pick your weapons. Define your mission. Then get to war. 2. Design your life around winning. Make success the default setting. Once you've set the target, it's time to rig your environment for obsession. Most people try to change while keeping everything else the same. That never works. Your current environment was built to support your current self. To change, you must rebuild the ecosystem around you. Here's how to do that. Audit your environment. Is your home optimized for focus or distraction? Do your surroundings encourage growth or comfort? Eliminate distractions surgically. Delete time-wasting apps. Block toxic influences, even people. Stop responding to low-vibration energy. Restructure your physical world. Move closer to your gym. Rearrange your home for discipline, visible goals, clear schedules, no temptation in sight. Build your calendar around the mission. Time block every hour of your day. Prioritize learning, training, and execution. Treat your schedule like a battlefield strategy. Cut off easy dopamine. No more endless scrolling, porn, or gossip. Replace quick highs with deep satisfaction, training, building, earning. Build a life where your default actions are aligned with greatness. Not because you're motivated, but because you've made it inevitable. 3. Reprogram your mind, learn to love the darkness. This is where the monster is made. At first, the silence will feel like a cage. No more likes. No more messages. No more attention. Your ego will scream for validation. Your insecurities will whisper lies. But if you survive that first phase, if you sit with the silence long enough, it will evolve. The cage becomes a temple. The darkness becomes your forge. The shadows become your sanctuary. And in that sacred solitude, something changes. You no longer fear being unseen. You crave discipline. You start enjoying the pain. You feel pride in being different. You stop chasing dopamine and start earning it. You rewire your brain. From needing external praise to needing internal excellence. From craving attention to craving results. From emotional chaos to mental stillness. This is where the killer instinct is born. You're no longer driven by what others see. You're driven by what you see when you look in the mirror. And if that reflection doesn't match your standard, you fix it, quietly, without excuses. Here's the truth. The man or woman who can grind alone, improve without applause, and push through hell without hand-holding, is unstoppable. And that's who you're becoming. Bonus, your daily shadow routine. Structure for silent dominance. Here's a suggested daily structure to maximize your time in the shadows. 5:30 a.m., wake up. No snooze. No scrolling. Just presence and breath. 6 a.m., move your body. Gym. Run. Body weight. Doesn't matter. Master the body equals master the mind. 7 a.m., cold shower. Train the nervous system. Discomfort is the new comfort. 7:30 a.m., fuel clean. High protein, low sugar. Eat for energy, not entertainment. 8 a.m., plan your day. 3 core targets. No fluff. Just progress. 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., deep work. Build. Write. Sell. Train. Study. Whatever your transformation demands. 2 p.m., break and recalibration. Read. Reflect. Adjust. But stay off social media. 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., execution continues. More action. Less theory. Progress is proof. 6 p.m., recovery and review. Eat, stretch, reflect. Track what was won, what was wasted. 9 p.m., sleep. No screens. Just silence and restoration. Repeat this daily. Relentlessly. Ruthlessly. And the old you? He won't survive a single month of it. Recap of Part 2. The shadows aren't where you hide. They're where you hunt. You pick your targets with surgical precision. You design a life where success becomes inevitable. You reprogram your mind to crave isolation and pain. You build in silence. You bleed in silence. You become in silence. And when the world asks where you've been, they won't be ready for the answer. Because by the time they see you again, you're not you anymore. You're him. You're her. You're legendary. Part 3, The Reappearance, or Not. Why you might never come back the same. So you've vanished. You've gone ghost. You've done the silent work. No applause. No validation. Just cold, focused, obsessive rebuilding in the shadows. And now, you're different. Your body's stronger. Your mind's sharper. Your energy is precise. Your presence is magnetic, even in silence. So here's the question. Do you reappear? Do you walk back into the world that once underestimated you? Do you let them see what you've become? The answer isn't as simple as yes or no, because something happens in the shadows that changes you forever. 1. The twist: you won't want to reappear. When you first disappear, you think the reappearance will be the grand finale. You imagine the stunned faces, the praise, the questions, the validation, the applause. But here's the unexpected truth. By the time you finish your transformation, you won't care. The people who doubted you, they're irrelevant. The applause you craved, it feels hollow. The audience you once performed for, you've outgrown them. Why? Because in the shadows, you recalibrate your values. You start to live for impact, not attention. You become obsessed with execution, not exposure. You trade popularity for peace. You no longer need to be seen, because you see yourself clearly now. That's when you realize the real reward wasn't being recognized. It was becoming someone who no longer needed to be. 2. The new you is unrecognizable. Even if you choose to reappear, let me be clear, you won't be the same. You'll carry silence like a weapon. You'll speak less, but say more. You'll smile less, but feel deeper. You'll care less about approval, and more about alignment. People will notice, but they won't understand. They'll say, "You've changed. You're different now. You're not as talkative. What happened to you?" And you'll just smile. Because they don't know what you endured. They didn't see the tears. They didn't feel the failures. They didn't bury the old you and claw your way into this new form. You did that. Alone. In silence. They didn't meet the demon inside you that you had to kill. They didn't witness the version of you that almost quit, but didn't. So no, they don't get to understand you now. They just get to watch. 3. Your energy speaks before you do. Here's what happens after deep transformation. You don't have to prove anything anymore. Your presence becomes a declaration. Your silence becomes unnerving. Your discipline becomes contagious. People sense your evolution before you open your mouth. It's in how you walk. How you pause before speaking. How you look people in the eye without blinking. How you don't rush. How you move with inner gravity. That's because real power isn't loud, it's still. When you finally return to the surface, you're not performing anymore. You're observing. You're discerning. You're calculating. You don't move to impress. You move to execute. You don't chase recognition. You chase precision. And those who used to laugh at you, ignore you, or gossip behind your back, they won't know how to approach you now. Because the version of you they knew doesn't exist anymore. 4. You stay in the shadows, by choice. Here's what makes the reappearance so interesting. You might not even want it. You'll come to love the shadows. You'll enjoy building silently. You'll crave the freedom of privacy. You'll prefer solitude over spotlight. Because in the shadows, there's no performance. There's only work. Progress. Evolution. And you'll realize, you don't have to come back to prove anything. You can stay in the shadows and still run the game. Because those who understand the power of invisibility, they play life on God mode. Their work is felt. Their results are seen. But they themselves remain untouchable. 5. If you do reappear, make it unforgettable. Now, if you do decide to re-emerge, make it legendary. Let the world feel the weight of your silence and the depth of your transformation. But do it without flexing. Without announcing. Without asking for attention. Just walk back into the room with a new frequency. Let them feel it. Let your physique speak for itself. Let your business results do the talking. Let your calm energy shake their nervous system. Let your upgraded presence rewrite the power dynamic in every room you enter. And when they ask, "Where have you been?" you smile. And you say, "I was rebuilding in the shadows. Now I'm here. And I'm not the same." The final word, the shadow, is where legends are made. Here's what you need to understand. The world is addicted to visibility. To noise. To clout. To being seen. But power doesn't come from being visible. Power comes from being unshakable. You don't disappear to hide. You disappear to fortify. To isolate your potential. To remove the noise, the weakness, the distractions. Until the only thing left is purpose. Then you build. Bleed. Suffer. Grow. Alone. Quietly. Relentlessly. And when it's time, you either reappear as a force they never saw coming, or you stay in the shadows and run the game from behind the curtain. Either way, you win. Because you're no longer a slave to validation. You're no longer addicted to attention. You're no longer fragile. You're reborn. Ready for your next level. If you want to unlock an even deeper cheat code to upgrade your mind, dominate your habits, and become the kind of person who's impossible to ignore, check out the next video. And remember. Disappear. Work. Transform. Then reappear, or don't. Just make sure the old you never returns.